see about painting. I've got some done. As I go, I'm going to break these guys up too. Now the inspiration I have, inspiration for this is, I'll show you right here. See, that's it. Right there, that is what I think Kerran footboards should sort of look like. Making them in this game is a little more difficult, but we can get closer. If not, right on the money with it. But we'll see. By the way, we have a TeamSpeak open. You can jump in there if you'd rather talk. Because I prefer to talk instead of type myself. So yeah, I've got those waves, those undulating ripples. Took me a little while yesterday to mess with that. I'm sure I can do that with a waterfall too. So, first thing I want to do comes should I change one a little bit? I can come right back and fix it. So let's find a closer now. Select tool's been wonky the last couple of days since the last major patch. It seems to want to just jump all over the place and not behave very well. Especially when you're doing big things, you get it just about the way you want it, and then boom, you got one voxel somewhere. And move this out and capture those ripples too. Here's how you make a template for those of you who haven't done this. Oh, can't hear me? Okay. Hey. We can fix that. We'll work on it. Can't hear me. That's what. Well, that would do it. Thank you, Catchy. Alright, so now that I've got that sorted, let's see if I can get a new. This will let me know what it is. And we'll call it a drain pipe, because that's what it is. Meanwhile, I don't want to delete all of that. Just want to let the water out, according to Spider Oz. And I trust him looking at the stuff he's built. How could I not? Man's a machine. Just go to, it's hard to see. Let's just go down a little bit more to there. Bye. Alright, now I got some water, and we need to make it wider. I think my biggest problem here is I need water. Used a lot of it up in making this pond up here so I could take a little dip once in a while. Let's see what we can do. Over here and select some water. I only have 6,000 water. I'm not going to be able to make a waterfall with 6,000 water, but I can get started. Let's take a look at what that's going to look like from down below, being that was the whole point in making. Yeah, I think that will actually look pretty nice. That's what it'll look like from up here on the bridge. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. I need to stretch it over the other side some more. Let's do that. Get some width. Okay, so I'm not on the Insiders program yet, anyway. And I don't have that much stuff to give away, but I will. I do have one Trailblazer key when we start to get some people watching. I'll let that loose. In the meanwhile, though, feel free to join me in TeamSpeak. I'll be able to hear you, as will people on the stream. We'll see how that works out. We get some crazy people, but hopefully not so bad. I should probably be able to fix that. Probably be able to fix that later. Alright, I've got this templated. I'm going to steal my water and reuse it as I need it. A lot of times I find it's easier, or at least it's easier for me a lot of times, to use the arrows and move my selection. Before I delete. And I keep getting messages. Oh, it's from Ketchy, huh? Okay, good. And there's no... Oh, water. Very nice. We can just keep rolling. We're going to switch over to painting if I ran out of water, but we can just keep going and see how we can do. Building waterfalls. I'll flatten it out to start and then I'll bump it up later. Because it was pretty easy. Cap for the water. Okay. I find it so much easier to just use my delete key on my keyboard rather than messing with switching tools to the remove tool. The materials go right in my inventory the same way, just like... I'm not going to be able to adjust that unless I get over here. And I don't lose any materials by doing it that way, and all I have to do is reach over and give it a shot. So, alright, we got a big square waterfall. Now, how can we make it look more natural? Because that's the key in these things I've found so far. Every build I've done, the more natural looking you can make it, the more believable it becomes. So a couple of remnant. And you know what? With all of that water I just got, I'm going to add the water back down in here so we can play with our ripples as well. I don't know if I have that much, but... whatever I can do. Now around these supports and around some of the other areas, I'm going to use putty voxels, water putty voxels. Sounds a little odd, but they're actually pretty cool. And look, I was a bit short. Let's try that over. I can't be short this time. And just for shits and giggles, as we used to say, I'm going to run this out here and establish a height for the water before I go ahead and do any work to it, because we don't want to put a bunch of work into something and then find out that it's the wrong size, right? That can be putty voxels. Let's go over here. That can be putty voxels. Something I found out about water, which is interesting. If you leave a space underneath, you don't swim. You kind of go in it and then like walk around on the bottom. So just to ensure that you'll be able to swim, although this won't be probably deep enough to swim under the bridge, which is kind of a shame. Maybe make it a little bit higher. One little poop. I can make that wall higher. That's just going to be more rocks anyway. Water has to come from somewhere and it has to go somewhere. So I have it coming from a pool at the top. I'll show you in a bit. And then I need it to go down into the rocks at the end of the claim because I can't really run it all the way across the world. When we have adjoining claims someday, maybe I'll be able to do that. But for right now, I think we're going to be good just right like this. Okay. And I can swim. Awesome. I need my waterfall to come out a little bit further, I think. Or do I? That's a pretty big volume of water. Let me try something that's a little different. I've been wanting to try to do this for other things. When I build Kerran structures, they're always wider at the bottom, shorter at the top. And to do that, I've been using the line tool, making it smaller at the top, and bigger as we go out on the bottom. What I thought would save me a lot of materials would be to be able to take a volume like that. Example, this would be, say, a wall in one of these angled, beveled kind of buildings. I'd fill that volume. Boom. I'd Control delete it. I'd paste it. And now we have the ability to rotate. Something we couldn't do before. So let's see how this works. We'll fix that in a second. Spider floats into the picture. Let's see how this works with water. And let's put it back into the waterfall. Because naturally, I think water spreads as it falls. It looks like it worked out pretty good. There's a bit of a gap down in there, but you can just fill that in. I'm tempted to leave a hole to see what happens when I start putting bubbles in it, but I don't want to have to do this 9 times, so let's just fill the hole. I made a bit of a bump, but it's that spider. I don't know if spider's watching. There's some echoing. Okay, cat. I wonder what's causing that. I don't have anything turned on. I'm sitting in dead silence. Is it bad? I mean, like, do I need to fix it? Or is it tolerable? thanking Oz for the water he gave me. Because guildies are for that in my book. I ran guilds for a long time, and the biggest thing that I ever found guilds to be really useful for was helping you. Helping each other is really what it's all about. And it won't adjust. There we go. So let's get our rocks so that they look like there's a waterfall. Hate when I do that. Remember to push the OK button at the end. It's the check mark up there. This guy. Otherwise it'll jump right back to where you had it before you did anything. It's got some holes. We don't want holes. Now what I did to make ripples before was smooth. Add materials with the circular add tool. And then go from there. Alright, so that's just going to make it a big round cube. I need to actually sculpt it. So the best way for me to do that is step. He's over here. Just a few more. Hi Zada. Thanks for stopping in. Gotta mind me, I'm pretty bad when it comes to watching my chat. I really am. So what is it that's echoing? Okay. Being there's no one here but you and me. Figure this out for when there's more people later on down the road. Is it me that's echoing my voice? Or is it game music? Do you hear game music? You know, you can jump around on sculptures, but when it's water, not so much. I think I'm just going to have to do this by hand. Our lost my tool. It's there. Well, that crest over the edge there is starting to look pretty cool. Let's see if we can keep that action happening. Everything I work on in this claim just seems like it's right on the border between the two different claims. And there we go. And when I try to do something, it ends up just, I gotta move. So, I was telling Spider I want us to yeah, that's a little cooler. This too. It eating the water. Okay. Not quite sure what that means. All right, the right-hand side, where it's coming around the rock, kind of looks okay. The left-hand side looks like there's too much water and it should be going that way. But, when I come up yonder, not so much. So what I think I'm going to have to do is... Yep. We need more water on this side. That might do it. And then I can run it down in between these rocks right here. Do it for me, is it? Alright, looks like it's gonna... That's gonna look nice. That's gonna look really nice. I think I'm glad that Spider talked me into this today, because I thought about this in the first place. And then I said to myself, that's just retarded. I can't build a waterfall. I don't sculpt things. Not the best sculptor. Although so far so good on this project. So we'll see how it keeps going here. Time goes so quick in this game. I don't know about you guys, but it just seems like I just started the stream and it's already been a half hour. The new smooth tool actually is pretty cool. The old one was like, you got what you got. Nice. Alright, now I want to... I like the way that little angle thing worked out. Even though I had to go in and fill the holes. And it's still on the clipboard. Well, isn't that handy? Out of my face, you. Did not save the angle, though. I don't believe. No. I try to have to match the one that's back there. Looks pretty close. Let's see how it disappears when I stick it in the wall. I love how that when you select something and then you hit the shift key in order to tweak it, it doesn't jump around when you do. In other words, if you have something that's simply selected, yeah, this is going to work out pretty good, I think. This is going to work out pretty good. Alright, let's fill that in. Because what I'm going to do later, in order to give it some falling water type texture. See, there's that new select. There's a select tool jumping around like a goofy. And it goes backwards too. A lot. I realized that I didn't stretch this across the whole waterfall, but I'm going to see how I can get this to work with that hole in there. Even though I said I don't want to have the hole in there. I'm afraid that if I do that, that if I start to smooth it, then I'm going to get voxels that are going to disappear in the front and then just leave big gaping holes. That would be bad, maybe. I don't know. With water, it's so weird. It's not like other things. Maybe we can just get rid of this rock. Drop them down here. Use them to cover the goofiness in this. Maybe. Can't see too good from up here.
So yeah, I answered you in chat. I'm so used to answering in chat, I don't realize that you can hear me. Yeah, I have the music turned off here where I am. I had it in the headset. I put it on the desktop. Music is on. Pretty dang sure it is. Yep, it's on and turned up. And I have it listed as system default. I'll put it into my headset, but then I don't know if it'll be in the stream. Let's try that, and then I can have something to listen to as well. Okay, I got music. Okay, so now I have the music in my headset. Just let me know if you can still hear it in the chat or in the stream, because I definitely want viewers to be able to hear the music. And I think, I like the way that this water curls around that one. I want to do something similar on the other side, not exactly the same. But yeah, if I move this rascal out a little bit. Sort of like that, maybe? Let's go see what that looks like. Oh, lovely. Now, you bugger. Oh, that works good. Let's do that. Let's leave that alone. See, now I'm able to adjust them from a mile away. Whereas before I couldn't. I like that. Built-in moss. So we're going to try to keep some of that out to the open where you can see it. A bigger rock might help. Well, it's not too bad. These guys have these pointy edges. These are the jungle boulders. And they have some pointy edges that I can take advantage of. Have a little water come down through the edges of it. That actually looks pretty good, Spider. You're a genius. Alright, let's do a little smoothie on this top section here. See how badly that screws me up. I don't like that step. Alright. Control Z is my friend. A little more liquid. Oh, now that I got the music on, I can hear the sound effects, and that is a little loud. I bet when I eat with the delete tool, it really is loud. So let's turn special effects down. Yeah, much better. You gonna make a sculptor out of me yet there, Spider? Now, every waterfall I've ever seen has ribbons of water. It's not just a big mass of water that folds over and goes down like fabric. It has more of a... And what worked really good before was using my delete tool. All right, before we get that far, let's widen this out a little bit down here. That's a little much. Looks more appropriate. Taking them away is easy. Getting enough of them in there. We need some help down here on the bottom end. I'm inside. And we can't have that. Damn select tool. I'm wondering if I should try my anglish trick again. See what that looks like. Just running it out more on the bottom. Why not? Let's see. Whoa. I'm going to go for it. Uh-oh. Guess it went a little bigger than you meant. But it's starting to look good. Let's smooth a little bit. That'll get me some water. Not very much. Another thing I've learned in Landmark, it's really helpful, is that you can hide things really easily with props. Now we're getting a waterfall. Where the water sticks out between these two rocks, not so natural looking. So I think what I need to do is add a little rivulet. That's what's called. Although that's going to take a little bit of doing. Nothing's easy. One place that this is handy, although it's not very handy when you have that. That looks kind of funky. It's like an arm came out of the waterfall and is going over that rock. Not what I had in mind. We'll come back to you after I think. Anyway, it looks like we're getting wide over here. Do you know what would probably be good? Taming this baby back a little bit. Yep. That's going to be better. And plus I get a whole lot new water back as well. I found so many times in builds that when I get low on materials, I just delete stuff that I wasn't sure about and reclaim what I... I go back too far. Looks like I wasted a whole lot of water and decided this cliff. Alright, now I just need to paint that. Or a bit of cheatery. Like I said, I don't like the way it looks now. Just put props on it. More sneaky water hiding. My voice is still echoing. I don't know where the echo could possibly be coming from because I'm using one mic and it's not on in my room. If I look at my webcam has a mic built in. So if I look at the properties of that, it shows me here. I'll share. Woo! Now if I look at the properties, of this guy, oh, that's not what I wanted. If you look at the properties here, and I go to configure, it has follow my face. Right light, I have the sound turned off. Right sound, yep, that's turned off. Save. Under my audio input device, I have the microphone on my headset. It's enabled. I'm not using any special features. So that should, in all reality, not have any echoing. So I don't know. Not sure why it would do that. Alright, I need to fill this hole. Something about that big. But I don't need it quite so wide. I'm going to make water. Control X. Control V. Let's try that again. Control V. And it's invisible. Let's do it this way. Control X puts it on my clipboard. Control, there we go. Should be right up in there. But now we can adjust it so that it looks like water, which tends to fall straight, but also at an angle. Sort of like that. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but painting behind something like water tends to paint water. The only way I found that I can do a very good job of it is highlighting a section. Do it via select tool rather than, where's my rocks? That's broke again. This has been broke a lot too. The eyedropper, when you go to select a different material, has a tendency to not work. I hope that's on the list. Let's use dirt because I got so much dirt I don't know what to do. Let's use rocks. It's a jungle area. Let's lowland gravel it. Yeah, that's better. There'll be a lot of smoothing in today's stream. Yeah, I'm going to come back to this because it makes me crazy. I have three options here. I can adjust the rock, which I think is the option that worked the best already. So I'll do that. I need to add a little bit of the width back down in here. Or sneak a rock up in there. I got more rocks. I'm not worried about that. I like that. Some of these rocks have some really interesting textures on the fronts of them. But the thing is, if I cut off that much of the volume of water, it's going to want to splash all over the place. So let's just do this. Okie dokie. Now we go for the gusto. Oh, you wonky thing. Alright, I matched the bottom. No, you silly goose. This sculpting stuff is kind of fun, but I'll tell you it's intimidating at first because having not ever done it before. Now we're going to fix you in a little bit. Not so shabby though. Still got some white poking out there. I hate that. So we'll fix it as soon as I can find a place to put a voxel. Alright, let's do it like this. And down you go. Looks about where it needs to be. Here's the part where I forget again, and then let's use a nice dark color. Did that do it? Yep. Yep, didn't forget. Haha. I thought for sure I would forget. I need to get in closer to see what I'm doing. Oh Lord. I used to jump a mile in the air trick. Awesome. For me, half the fun is getting so that I can see it. That's really half the fun. But it's half the challenge. Okay, that's working out good. Add a couple here. I want the water volume to kind of diminish. As it comes up higher without hey, it's starting to look like a waterfall. One problem I see, the volume of water is too big. I can see right through it. Right at the top. So I need to put another big rock in up there so that it looks like the water is cascading over this edge. As it is right now. It just looks like it's thundering. Yikes. There's a small jungle rock. Oh Lord. Small is cool. Bigger is cooler. See you later, buddy. Is that the whole width? Let's make it bigger. Just a wee bit bigger. Now when I go down here, I shouldn't be able to see the trees through the water so much. Instead, see a big rock. Oh yeah, I can see it all right. Yeah, you know what? I can still see the trees, so it's fruitless. It's the way that water reflects in this game is completely bizarre. Does not reflect like these trees on the surface of the water right here. It will, however, reflect certain things in certain ways that are, it's just buggered right now, in my opinion. And I'm sure that they'll fix it in time. So I guess y'all been wondering how I made those really cool looking ripples before. Well, I deleted circles. I cut and pasted circles, rings, and deleted them. Actually filled the sink full of water at home. I did this. I went in, filled the sink full of water, and I turned the faucet on, and I looked at how the water in the pool reacted to the stream. Initially, right around the stream, it indents. That's the downward force of the water, I believe. This is all physics. And it pushes the surface tension of the water down right where the stream enters it. Then it comes up sharply because of the back pressure, because of the down, you know, like that. And then it kind of just floats out, and the ripples tend to get smaller and as you go. So we've got a waterfall that's about, let's say, this big. So let's steal this. Good boy. By the way, I have to thank my friend Lucy for making these circles. They have saved me in a million billion times. Making domes and cutting out the balls and cutting the centers out of them, and on and on and on. Every time you need to do something, this was such a time sinker. And now I've got that, so add the ring. We need to flop the ring down. Might need a bigger ring. I'm thinking I might need a bigger ring. Although this might work for the initial down. That might work pretty good. Let's try it. so shabby. Can't really tell until we put a couple in and see how it looks. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to move up to the next size ring. Which would be this fella right here. Dates, Georges. I'm going to point a link to this video so that you can see how horrible the selection tool has become. Although, look at that. It just shut to like, it's all the way over at my other claim. Lordy, 589 voxels it went. And then you end up starting over, which is not fun. We gotta go old school. I love you, Lucy, for making these for me. Kinda we should put them a little further apart from each other, though. Having this built on a slope like this is kind of cool because every time I go somewhere I can slide. Do I have water? Yes, I have water. I'm good. No, I don't. Sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me. We can fix this. We could fix this way easier if the select tool would cooperate. There we go. Let's see what it looks like. I'm up there. I'm going to make you into a water ring. Let's orient you first so I don't have to do it over. Trying to aim at something. It's not going to work. Goofy ass. There we go. I can see pretty good. And there we go. Much better. I don't like to be in first-person view when I'm walking around. It just makes things more difficult to see for me. And now we're going to go way big. Way, way big. Maybe not 500 and some voxels big, but I'm going to use the biggest one I got. I think when you make circles, if you use the add tool and scroll it up in circle mode, as big as you can, it goes to 99 or 100. I can go up. I can go up now because I'm going to remove. Okay, so let's smooth. Boom. Might be a bit. That'll be okay. That'll be okay because, well, I'm going to fine-tune it and add a little bit more and tweak it, but I want the volume of water to be a little bit bigger on the bottom. And I want bubbles. Now, bubbles are something that I'm going to have to make while I'm not streaming and bring them in because it's going to take quite a while. But my plan is to make spheres out of water, take the middles out. Bubbles. People have probably made them already. I think that would be a smart thing for people to do. But I don't know any of those people, so I'm going to have to make my own. Man, that water reflections are awesome. Unnatural, but awesome. Alright, let's put some rivulets in the water. What these are going to be will be strings. Yep, just like that. And my mic mutes like it's supposed to when I flip it up like that. So if I cough, I don't cough right in your ear or on your phone. But there we go. Now we're going to get some depth to that water. Some highlights off the little edges there. Like I over smoothed a bit right there. Not worried about overdoing it too much on the bottom because it's going to get covered a lot by bubbles. So Spider's probably saying he's going to do this all along. I don't even talk him into nothing. Yeah, I did think about it a lot. I thought about how I would do it if I did do it. And now that I am doing it, I guess I'm trying all the things that I thought about when I was thinking about it. There we go. Alright, all I need is about a dozen of those scattered about in a way that looks like it would be... Ooh, look at the pretty clouds. I get distracted really quickly and really easily when in this game. The outside world around me is just beautiful. And yeah, I'm working on something. It's tedious, it's consuming, but you just look around every once in a while and you just have to go, holy crap. Because not only do you say holy crap because wow, I made this, but the world around you, that sky right there, it's as nice as the moon was last night in real life. I see this in real life. Those same colors, those exact same colors. Maybe not quite as many stars, but this would normally mean that it's going to rain tomorrow. So that's to the east. So I guess we're at dawn. So that means it's going to be a nice day then. Red in the morning. Nope, that means it's going to rain. That's right. Alright, how does our waterfall look? You know, Spider, you're absolutely right. When I look at this now, and I see that blue behind that wood, it makes the whole thing come alive a lot more. Very good. I still think it would look better, though, if I remove these big arches. Move this baby over a little bit, the big beam that's hung on the ropes, move that over a little bit, add a second one, and then add supports from those two beams down to the ropes underneath the steps. Just have the whole thing more of a suspended thing rather than supported by those arches. Let's just go with it the way it is for now and we'll see. Alright, so waterfall is at a place where I'm willing to let it sit for a minute. Start cleaning up some of this mess I made yesterday. When, again, my paintbrush tool, my eyedropper tool, didn't correctly function. We'll just go about painting. Another thing, I have a little pet peeve. I look and see on other people's builds. I missed the top. They gave us different orientations of wood grain. Use them. Horizontal wood should be on things that are going back and forth. And vertical wood should be on things going up and down. It's not brain surgery. That's just my pet peeve. Done whining. Alright, that time I checked in, it actually is muting the mic when I do that, so I'm happy. Alright, that's that. What did I use here? I used planks. planks. Really don't like that. Doesn't look like it's natural. We'll just get rid of it. See? Much more nicer. Oh Lord. Still am missing. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. A little bit more unnaturalness. Not perfect, but not too bad. Okay, we're going to have to hand paint in some of those. We're going to have a crossover. How are we doing? I don't think I'm going to actually paint something that's not supposed to be wood. It'll probably be a first for me. I'm doing this because I want to see how the whole thing looks up against that beautiful blue background. For a little bit, jumping ahead, I'll show you that I did this one already. There's 4 of them. I want them all to be different, but the same, if you know what I mean. But that big rope's tied up on that big beam, and that's kind of what holds it all up. Although I did muck that up a little bit. So when you smooth, sometimes it'll take voxels from one thing and add them into another thing, and it just doesn't look right. I don't like how it sticks out. I was noticing that earlier today. Just does seem a little bit excessive. Boy, am I jumping around today, huh? It's gonna be painting, then it became making a waterfall, and I'm back to painting and smoothing. Yeah, that's a little better. Do a little twirl when I'm happy. Alright. So yeah, looks like a rope tied to a big stick. That's what I was going for. It's a little better. I wish I got so spoiled and so used to the eyedropper tool that now that it's not working correctly. See, watch, I'll try to use it here and it'll paint it black. You're supposed to be able to hold the Alt in. A big white light comes out of your block, switches your material selection to whatever you were over at the time. Not really. At least not today, it's not. Fortunately. I remember when I first started this game, way back, a month or so ago, in Alpha. That's strict. And my first build, I put every block down, every single block, one block at a time. I didn't have a selection tool, and I didn't have any idea that you could use a selection tool in that way. So I built the blocks I built a house out of little tiny blocks. And I questioned Sony's intelligence in putting a game of that nature out on the market, because it was Trove, but in a beautiful world. And beautiful world or not, that just didn't do it for me. Alright. You need to be horizontal, burled wood. Boom, boom. I think the rope should actually go around the beam. Let's try to make that happen. Now we can make that happen. I'm missing a block. No, I'm not missing a block. So I'm thinking the best way to do that is with blocks, not trying to find a circle that little. So let's do that. We will be smoothing this successively in order to get rid of the bulk. The cool part about these Kerran builds is that they want them to look rough. They want them to look, well, I don't know, not necessarily hacked together, but the Kerrans don't seem to really care about how pretty they make things as much as they care about the functionality of the things they make. If the bridge holds your butt up, then it's cool. You don't have to have a perfect bridge. So, but they do want the functionality. It does have to get you from the one side to the other. This doesn't necessarily have to be the most beautiful thing that you ever saw. Which is kind of a shame, because the style of building would lend itself to some really neat stuff. Spider Oz's temple, as an example, I'm going to have to dedicate a stream just to go and look at my Guildy's claims, because I got my mind completely blown yesterday. I was wandering around looking at stuff going, oh my god. He's like, you want to see more? I'm like, my brain will explode. I can't go see more. But, you know, we're going to take a stream, or we're going to go and look at the stuff that they made, because it is pretty awesome. It's like whole towns. It's like I asked him, do you people work? Because quite honestly, it didn't seem like it. That was a mistake. There we go. Didn't really seem like they worked. I work 3 days a week now in the summer. That's it. And I wouldn't have had time to build the stuff that they came up with. No way. No way at all. It's amazing. It's beautiful. There's details, so many little details everywhere I looked. I mean, it had to take forever. But undoubtedly, they're pretty quick because they put them together relatively fast. The tour was actually really fun too, because Spider was a good tour guy. Yeah, that looks good. That looks like it's wrapped around that beam pretty good. I'm debating how to put the rope into the walkway planks. I don't really want to wrap it around them like I just did with that beam, because it just becomes too bulky unless I use microvoxels, and I want to try to make this build using 0 or very close to 0 microvoxels. I have some templates that have some microvoxels in them. Naturally, when I'm going to put tops on these towers, I'm going to want to use some lattice, and making lattice out of just full-size blocks, even if you smooth them, is something that's more like something that it would have to be huge. I would have to put 4 claims straight in a line and make this bridge like twice as big as it is already in order to be able to actually use full-size blocks and make believable lattice that, doesn't look clunky. I have some nice lattice that I can use. Let's go take a look at it. Some really nice lattice I could use. And it's in my templates. I have some of my builds templated. Mostly I just throw them away. I like to save lots of little bits though, lots of little parts. And then, like I just did, I like to template my okay, so we got lattice number 1. There's not actually any lattice in there. Well, that's a waste. I guess I'll have to go back to that swap and steal that over again. I said steal because that's what it feels like you're doing. You're not actually stealing them. All the stuff in the swaps people give to you freely. They put them there just for that reason. But it seems to me like it's like walking around in a museum and picking up stuff, taking it home with you, reproducing it. Voxel Vision's a godsend in that fact, so we can still have our swaps and people can't like claim ownership and try to sell it on So this Kerran lattice number 1 is yeah, I do. I need the space in order to put the real one in there someday. So there's this one. Come on. Which is kind of neat. It has a star. I used it in my bell tower. And I got rid of the little lumicite things, or whatever they are, the yellow. The yellow and the gold. I just copied it over it and just made it all wood. Thought it looked a little better. I don't think the Kerran would be into the minutia. I think they're more of a broad stroke type of race. And there's also down here in Kerran land. Started everything with C, it seems. So to get to anything past C, you gotta scroll. Ah, that's Kerran, not as tall. The other one's called thin. PQRS-T, thin. Thin. I particularly like this one. It's got your classic. It's got your classic back and forth lattice. It's got a nice frame. The only problem is you gotta use the frame with this. Or you gotta spend some time sitting and messing with it. Because these are offset voxels in the center here. So you can't copy them directly. When you click on one of them, you end up highlighting the space behind them. Found that when I do this, I can get the whole thing. But then when I go to place it, well, I'll be dang, that one worked. Usually when you go to place it, the edges completely distort. The ends of all of these microvoxels flare, like I'm sure you've seen them do if you played. And who's here? Well, I guess you guys have seen that happen. There's some hope for this lattice yet, then. But as you see, it's offset from each other a little bit, which is kind of cool, and it's not really discernible. If you get up close to it when it's in a build, it gives it detail rather than being just squares. So it's kind of neat. Anybody wants that, they can just ask me for it and I'll give it to you. Meanwhile, we'll get back to the work at hand. I gave these guys stone. Kerrans aren't really good with stone, but they're not stupid either. And honestly, wood will rot away if you put it in the water. So if those wooden arches went right down and into the water, they would rot away. Even the Kerrans probably don't want to have to replace them every couple of years, so I'm thinking that they at least got that far with stone. Look at you. That's pretty cool. Not a bad sculpture. Still needs a little bit of work. Well, listen, you guys. I hope you had some fun. I hope I was a bit entertaining, at least for a little while. I'm gonna go get myself something to eat and tend to my dog who is barking in the backyard at something. So I'm gonna try to get back on here and do this a little bit more this afternoon. That's about it. I like doing this because building can be boring. It could be long and boring. So at least this way I've got somebody to talk to and something to do. Hopefully we get some more people going on. I have some stuff to give away, and we can do fun things. This hitbox, unlike Twitch, has some very cool features that I'll show you one of them right now. typed in a question. And I'm going to type in a couple of possible answers. Okay, so now if you look in the chat, there will be a poll. Ta-da. And you can click on whatever one you like and vote. And then whenever I want, I can stop the poll and we can look at the results. So there are going to be things and times. For example, if there was 10 people in here just now, and Spider was trying to ask me about whether I wanted to make a waterfall instead of just a drainage pipe coming out of a dam, I could say drainage pipe or dam, and let you guys decide and then do what it is that you tell me to. Hi, buddy. This is Andrew. He will be joining me from time to time at his own discretion. Because that's how he works. And he'll probably bark real soon. So, on that note, I'm going to have to get going. There's something going on in my yard, and he really wants me to go out and see what it is. It's probably he found a new stick for me to throw. I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for following me. I got some more follows going, and I could probably get partnered. Take care.